Hey everyone. Okay, so I have two different DVD reviews for you guys today. This first one is What If, which came out last year, and it stars Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan. And basically, it is a modern When Harry Met Sally. And by modern, I don't mean like that modern, because When Harry Met Sally was only from '89. But it's basically When Harry Met Sally for a new generation. And that is why I was so excited to see it. Because, I don't know, for some reason, like, I saw a preview of this a few months ago, and that preview didn't really make me in much of a rush to see it, or at least not to see it in theaters, I guess. And then the second preview I saw was on a DVD, a different DVD I got from the library, and that's the one that made me realize that it's basically When Harry Met Sally for now. And I was like, I need to see this, especially because I already knew that Dan Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan were in it. Mostly I was excited about Daniel Radcliffe, but also with Zoe Kazan. The only thing I've seen her in before this was Ruby Sparks, and I really did not, I don't know, like, I liked it when I was watching it, but then afterwards I thought about it, and I had way too many plot/character issues with the two main characters, and that was the first thing that I'd seen either Paul Dano or Zoe Kazan in, or, like, both of them, and so because of that, it was the kind of thing where I was like, is it the actors or is it the story? And luckily, it was the story. I still don't actually know how I feel about Paul Dano, because I've seen him in several things since that, and I don't really ever like his characters, but that could just be because he always plays weird characters, I don't know. But with Zoe Kazan, I was happy to see this because I realized that I really like her acting, I just didn't really care for Ruby Sparks. So yeah, since this is a modern take on When Harry Met Sally, it kind of is about the question of, does sexual attraction get in the way of platonic relationships? Like, for When Harry Met Sally, the main character, Harry, says, what does he say? He says, men and women can never really be friends because the sex thing always gets in the way. So that's the question here as well. And it's basically these two people, Wallace and Chandri. I think it's Chandri, not Chandri. I think it's Chandri. Meet at a party, and they get talking, and they pretty much instantly click. And Wallace immediately likes her and wants to, like, is thinking maybe they could date. And then when they're walking home, she mentions that she has a boyfriend. So when she gives him her number to hang out, he realizes that it's, like, pretty much only going to be a friendship thing, and he doesn't really want that, so he loses her number on purpose. And then the second time they meet is accidental, and this scene in this film, like, basically if the rest of the movie had sucked, I would have loved this film just for this one scene. And it's not spoilers because it's like 4 minutes into the film, so it's really, like, it's soon enough in the film that it's not a spoiler. But how they meet the second time is they both go by themselves to see a showing of The Princess Bride in theaters at like 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night or something. And I, like, as soon as I saw Princess Bride on the marquee, I was like, I love this film. I'm going to love this scene. This is wonderful. And it's really cool because they actually both go, and neither of them knows that the other one is there until they're leaving the film. And it zooms in on Daniel Radcliffe's face during the scene where Wesley first says to Buttercup, "As you wish," and he has this huge cheese grin on his face, and it's just, oh my gosh, like, I was like, I love this, this is so cute. And if you guys don't know, you probably do, but just in case you don't, Princess Bride is another one of my favorite films. It's probably in my top 5 films of all time, I would think, probably. So yes, I completely love that scene. And so anyway, they're leaving the theater and they bump into each other and they're like, okay, now we pretty much have to be friends because we're bumping into each other. This is fate or whatever. So they end up going to get a meal and then, they just become friends after that. And, Wallace meets Chandri's boyfriend, Ben, who she's been dating for like 5 years, and he's actually really nice. He's played by Rave, who I've seen in Desperate Romantics and The Big Short, and probably like one or two other things that I'm forgetting right now. But I actually really like his acting, and fun fact, he is Timothy Spall's son, and Timothy Spall played Wormtail in the Harry Potter films, so Daniel Radcliffe has now worked with both father and son, which I think is really cool. And I always like it when children of really good actors are also really good actors themselves, because there are one or two situations that I've seen where the child of a famous actor or actress will also go into acting and they really shouldn't. Like they do it because of their parents and they're actually not that great at it. But Rafe Spall is a wonderful actor, so I thought that that was really cool that he is kind of on par with his dad. But anyway, so yeah, he plays the boyfriend, and the boyfriend's nice, which makes the situation so much worse for Wallace and also for the audience members that are kind of hoping Wallace and Chandri, I really don't know, will get together. And so, yeah, basically the whole film is them, kind of, well, Wallace trying to, like, forget his feelings for Chandri and, like, trying to figure out what to do because his feelings just keep getting stronger and stronger even though he's just trying to be friends with her. And he's also dealing with, I don't know, like, he's kind of a love cynic. Like, he knows that he has feelings for Chandri, but he also is completely cynical when it comes to real life love because his parents cheated on each other and he got cheated on, and that's another thing is, like, that's a reason why he will never try to purposefully break up Chandri and her boyfriend or like attempt to cheat with her on her boyfriend because he just, like, that's been done to him, and his parents did it to each other, so he has very strong morals about cheating. So that's not going to happen. And then, yeah, so he's like, basically it's this whole thing of will they, won't they throughout the entire film. And also, they have these two best friends, well, really just this one best friend and then his significant other. The guy played by Adam Driver, whose name, I'm forgetting his name, but, he is Chandri's cousin and then Wallace's college roommate. So, like, that was the connection and how those two met at the beginning. But he starts dating this girl, Nicole, and then they end up moving in together and then getting married. And this is what I mean when I say it's pretty much exactly like the 21st century version of When Harry Met Sally. Pretty much the exact situation happens in When Harry Met Sally. It's all, like, it all happens in different ways, but basically everything that happens in When Harry Met Sally happens in What If, with the exception of the boyfriend thrown in there. And, oh, the cool thing about the friend is that he's played by Adam Driver, and Adam Driver, I didn't know where I recognized him from, and then my friend Ben told me that he was from Star Wars, and I instantly was like, oh my god, he's Kylo Ren, and I freaked out. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not know that? But it's because their characters are so different. Like, their characters are opposite end of the spectrum, and also in What If, he has a mustache, and he, it's like an entirely different kind of makeup and costume design and everything. obviously, because the other one is Star Wars. But yeah, so that's why I didn't recognize him, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome, because now I know that he can play such different characters. That's really cool. And, oh, the other kind of sort of subplot is with Chandri's sister, played by Megan Park, which I thought was really cool because Megan Park and Zoe Kazan look like they could be sisters, which is really cool. And I always like it when casting directors find people that look alike to play family members. Because sometimes they really don't care and they're like, screw it, they'll look totally different, but they'll still be siblings. And I'm like, that makes no sense. But anyway, so Megan Park plays the sister, and she basically wants to move in on Wallace, like, from the second that she meets him, and it's so awkward because she, like, I don't know, it's suggested by Ben that the sister and Wallace could get together because the sister just broke up with someone. And this is not around Wallace. This is, like, before he gets to their house. And Chandri's like, that's kind of weird. And then later in the film, the sister is talking about Wallace as if she knows him incredibly well when she's only met him, like, twice. And they didn't really talk that much. Like, she basically is trying to act like she knows him as well as Chandri knows him, and that, like, she always talks about him as if they're going to be dating, and, like, as if she has called dibs on him like he's a possession, and Chandri really has issues with that, and I totally understand that. And that was the one aspect of the film that I really didn't like, was basically the entire character of the sister. I didn't like her as a character. I didn't like the super awkward situation that put them in, and yeah. But the one good thing about that situation is that's how we as the audience kind of can sort of tell that Chandri might be starting to have feelings for Wallace as well. I'm not going to say, like, how it ends up or anything, but yeah, basically the entire film is a question of will they, won't they? Does she have feelings for him too? Is he going to make a move? But he also won't because of the whole cheating thing, and, like, I don't know. This has been a really, really bad description of this film, but it is really good. And especially as a kind of modern take on When Harry Met Sally, I loved it, and I loved it kind of its own accord. Like, I think if I'd never seen When Harry Met Sally, I would still really love this film because they're of the same vein. But one thing is, if you have not seen this or When Harry Met Sally, I have to highly recommend that you watch When Harry Met Sally first, just because it is a classic. And also, if you have seen this, please watch When Harry Met Sally, because that is also great. And if you like this, I think you will love that. But also, just in general, this is a very good film, and I completely loved it, and I think I need to buy it now, because I liked it that much. So, yes. Oh, and the other thing I was going to say is that, I think I mentioned that it helped me like Zoe Kazan as an actress officially, but also the thing about Daniel Radcliffe is I realized that I have now seen him in enough films as an adult that I realize that I like him just as much now as I did when he was in Harry Potter, which is really great because sometimes the transition, I feel like, for child actors becoming adult actors, sometimes the shift doesn't really work. Like, I don't know, we as the audience realize that we only like them when they were kids because they were cute, or that somehow because adult acting and child acting is so different, that person can't make that shift, or I don't know. And see, this is the kind of situation where I can't think of any names off the top of my head where that didn't work. But specifically, like, I'm very glad that I still like him just as much as an adult actor as I did as a child actor. And yeah, I mean, I've probably had problems with, like, maybe one of his other films. I don't think I really liked Kill Your Darlings very much, but I thought everyone in it did a great acting job. I just had issues with the movie itself. But aside from that, I've seen him in this. I've seen him in Horns. Horns was a really good film, except for the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes was just totally weird and bizarre, but aside from that, it was very good. So, yes, it's good to know that I also like him now, as well as when he was in Harry Potter. And same thing with Emma Watson, actually. I haven't been able to tell with Rupert Grint, because I haven't seen him in anything except Harry Potter. But with the other two, I've seen them in enough other things that I still really like them both as actors, so that's really good. Yes, watch this. Sorry if I've rambled, but anyway, please watch this. This is wonderful.